Millions of Hulkamaniacs are in utter disbelief. I know I am. The world is waiting to hear about funeral services after the death of the iconic, unforgettable Hulk Hogan. Despite dealing with health issues, his wife said, quote, "I truly believed we would overcome them." Well, let's talk about the incredible legacy of the Hulkster with another, there he is, the great WWE Hall of Famer, the great wrestler, announcer, and manager, Diamond Dallas Page, known as DDP to so many wrestling fans around the world. Dallas, you look great. It's terrific to see you. You yourself have such an iconic career. I'm sure you met the Hulk many times. I had the honor to interview Hulk Hogan many times and spend time with Hulk. I loved Hulk. What did he mean to you and to just the wrestling profession and even beyond the ring? I mean, this is a guy outside of the ring, larger than life in it, larger than life out of it, too.
Rita, thank you for having me on and talk about the Hulkster, man. I always called him Hulk, always. I know his name is Terry Bollea, but to me, he was the Hulk, and he'd always call me Diamond. You know, a lot of people believe it's all about who you know or who knows you, when what's really all about who's willing to say they know you, who's willing to put their name on the line for you. And I have a great story about Hulk in Berlin. We were in Berlin, Germany. You have to understand, too, I didn't start wrestling until I was 35, and my career didn't take off until I was 40. And in 1994, I was around the bottom of the middle of the card. And after I had my match and came through the curtain, Hulk grabbed me. He said, "Whatever you're doing, you need to keep doing it. Because it's not this year or next year or the year after, but somewhere down the line, I believe that you have the ability to draw huge money with me." And then he walked away, and I thought to myself, did Hulk Hogan just say he watched my matches? You know, and it hit me. And as I was leaving the building, because we're on a big bus, and we're touring all over Europe at that time, and I'm about halfway up the stairs, I hear, "Diamond." I look back, and there's Hulk. He's in his dressing room. He goes, "Hey, come in here." So I come in, and Eric Bischoff, who's not Eric Bischoff would eventually be the most powerful man in professional wrestling at one point. But at that time, he was still part of a group, what we call a booking committee. And Hulk says to him, he goes, "You need to do something with him." He goes, "Because, he's not ready right now, this year, next year, but somewhere down the line, I believe that he has the ability to draw huge money with me." Now go 4 years later. The Bulls and Jazz are in the finals, Game 6. I mean, the whole deal. From Game 1 on out, with the Bulls and the Jazz, it was lights out. And Rodman ended up, of course, the Bulls won, being at the end on the stage with Jay Leno, and the Hulkster was with him. And me and Karl Malone, who's the 4th leading scorer of all time in the NBA, came off the wings, threw the chairs down, and we shot our angle, not on the wrestling show, but on the world stage, on the Tonight Show. It would end up being the 2nd largest drawing crowd in the history of professional wrestling. And Hulk called that 4 years earlier. It was real. And he put his name on the line for me. That meant a lot. Meant a lot. And forever, I would have definitely, it's been a couple ups and downs, since we heard. And I love the guy. He was all that. And I had a lot of great times with him. I headlined probably 15 or 20 different, whether it was Nitros or SmackDown or pay-per-views. It was really a lot of fun, getting to work with the guy.
I get emotional, DDP, talking too. I talked to Hulk a number of times about veterans charities and things. He was like, "Rita, whatever you need." And you saw that side. I'm getting emotional thinking about it too, because he was such an incredible man. I also interviewed him right after his reality show, Hogan Knows Best. And he picked me up. Literally, emotionally, and physically. So I want you to know he did that for me too. DDP, when I think about him too, I think about his faith. This was a guy, just as you brought up, so loyal. Talk about that side, how rooted he was. And also, I remember seeing a recent interview, too, where he said, you know, I felt like I needed to come out. He came out and spoke, of course, about President Trump. He was there at the RNC. He was there at MSG. And there was something about him that was just so special. You understand it as a showman. I remember when you came out in your pink Cadillac, you know how to put on a great show, my friend. And Hulk, when he came out, and I was there at the RNC, I was there at MSG, and when he walked out and he ripped his shirt off, you know,
electric.
There was something about that moment. And I remember seeing, you know, there were people of all ages, elderly women who were like, going crazy when they saw that moment. What was it about him that he connected so incredibly with people on and off the stage?
Yeah, I don't think there is another performer. And to have had the run that he had, you know, I don't think there's another performer, except for, you know, maybe The Rock, you know, maybe Dusty Rhodes, who had that kind of, you know, chemistry with the people. Stone Cold Steve Austin. I had an amazing, you know, because I was the guy who came off the couch. You know, like at 35 years old, everyone, they heard I was laughing, working, you know, starting to be a wrestler, they just laughed in my face. But Hulk didn't. He was one of the first one was Dusty Rhodes. The second one was Jake Roberts, Randy Savage, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and the Hulkster. They got behind me, and Hulk cared. And if he saw someone putting the work in, I will never forget the four-way that we had, a four-way dance. It was Hulk, Ric Flair, the franchise, the Stinger, and myself for the world title. And that's like our Oscar. And I ended up taking Flair in the middle with my diamond cutter. And when I walked through the locker room, into the locker room, it was just Hulk. And he was sitting there with his knee braces down and, you know, just sweating profusely because we just got done doing a 20-minute match. And then when I stepped in the door, he looked up at me and he goes, "This is the way it's supposed to be. That somebody like you, who no one saw it in you, everybody laughed at you, they screwed with you, but you just kept working. That you could be the world champion. That's what this business is supposed to be about." I just gave him a hug. I was teared up. You know, because you got Babe Ruth telling you that you're damn right, you deserve this, man. And you put the work in and you're setting a great example. He just had that heart. And for me, especially, you know, everybody's got their own, you know, stories of them, but mine, every one of them were, man, I love that guy. I love it. And I begged him, Hulk, please let me help you with your back. You know, he had 10 back surgeries. And, you know, I broke my back. You know, when I was 42 years old and they said my wrestling career's over, that's where DDP yoga comes from.
And in fact, before we let you go, tell us very quickly, we just have a few seconds, but I want to make sure you tell everybody about DDP yoga.
Well, I really wanted to help Hulk so much. You talk about veterans. There's a disabled veteran. His name is Arthur Borman. If you just search on YouTube, Arthur Borman and DDP, Diamond Dallas Page, you'll see one of the most amazing videos ever. And I showed that to Hulk early on when it happened, because it was over a like 8-year period. He had 10 different back surgeries. And I wanted to help. I said, we don't even have to tell anybody. Just let me come down and work with you. And as much as he loved me, and as much, sometimes you get stuck in that old school, you know. But if you go to ddpyoga.com, you'll be able to see the stories and the people that we've helped. It's not just me. I've got a whole team. We really care about helping people find hope. And that's the biggest thing, you know, because a lot of us, you know, out there, they've lost hope. And we help them find it again. And we have a whole program for what we call Warriors Purpose for all the guys. It's always half price for veterans, cops, firemen, anybody who's a first responder.
Bravo.
You know, just
well,
want to give back, you know.
DDP, you always give
Hulk,
back.
Loved him.
Well, and obviously he loved you, and how lucky for both of us to know that incredible man who is larger than life And thank you for all you're doing to help our veterans and cops, and also to share just your incredible memories with the one and only Hulkster. It was really great to have you here. You got to come back on again. Thank you very much.
I would love to, Rita. You have a great day, and God bless my man.
Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.